Hello, dear friends. Today I speak in this video of the special protection unknown to the world which Our Lady will give us in these extremely difficult times. I study the Marian messages that are happening all over the world. In each video I deal with completely different topics, so you may subscribe to the channel. Enter to the channel. I created a folder called Full Movies. Watch all of these videos so you can understand what is happening. Please do it, it's important. Click on the bell so the new movies that come out, you will be able to see them right away. So now I will tell you and read about very strong, very harsh messages also concerning the Antichrist. Then I will talk about the protection of the battle that will be led by Our Lady against the Antichrist itself. I will touch on topics that can be only known by deepening these messages. Some of these topics have never been explained by what I have seen, so be very attentive. Concentrate yourself and watch this whole video from the start to the end, because we have to be very vigilant and informed during these times. Luz de Maria Apparitions, Argentina, August 2020. The weight of the scale as titled towards the earth without humanity taking seriously what is happening. Trevignano Romano in Rome, February 2021. There are many wasted deaths in the world because you are lowering your head to the world elite. Be careful, my children. Evil is taking advantage of your spiritual and physical weakness to attack you. Carbonia Apparitions in Sardinia, April 2021. Save yourselves. Oh men, I love you so much and I want your salvation. Open your eyes to the reality you live. You are already in slavery, but you do not have the courage to rebel against the system. You are afraid. So you bow your head, hoping that everything will stop, but it doesn't happen so. Now, in the oratories, they have reopened the Grest that they had closed last year in 2020. We have seen the European Football League, who had also been suspended last year, 2020. People can go on vacation. You can get out of the region. We breathe a climate a little lighter. Some people even say that everything will go back to the way it was before. Other people instead understood that the accounts do not add up. There is an elite who created all of this scenario. But these people lower their head. And what does it mean, lowering your head? Lower the head means not spreading the truth, not spreading these Marian messages, because you are afraid. You are afraid of being considered ridiculous. You are afraid of making bad impression of figures in front of the masses. You are afraid of future persecutions. You are afraid of the institutions. You are afraid of losing your job. You are afraid of criminal consequences. One is afraid to take uncomfortable roads, and consequently people bow their heads and keep silent. Anguera Apparitions of Brazil 2017. Do not hold back. The silence of the righteous strengthens the enemies of God. Be courageous. The Lord is your victory. Ahead in the truth. If we are with Jesus, we have the duty to continue announcing and spreading the truth. This silence only strengthens the plans of Satan. People have closed in, they have curled up in their fears, and sometimes they come out with the cliché, let's hope everything stops. But the hopes of a mass, of a silent humanity indifferent to everything, does not change the future events. Our Lady in Fatima had said, Satan will have the powerful people in his power and will determine the course of things. We, with our indifference, are accomplices to Satan, and the Father allows him to act and beat us. It will be Satan in this year that therefore will determine the course of things, and not our hopes based on nothing combined with negative behavior and indifference. Trevignano Romano 2021. My beloved, the viruses will continue to spread with the same brutality of the devil. Carbonia 2020. Get ready, O men, for this new wave of cursed viruses. The air is already infected. Barbarism comes from the east. Cursed man, Satan is your teacher. To him you have given your soul. You have to suffer forever. You will be cursed forever. Under the ground you will crawl and scream all your pain. 1,000 times worse of your Holocaust. Lutz de Maria 2020. The paternal house that had anticipated the goals of the New World Order, which is to reduce the world population, and you let it go unnoticed. Another virus will come that will wipe out men without looking no one in the face. They are leveling humanity. That is the great project of the single government. And people are letting everything go by as if nothing had happened. Gorbachev, who had announced the need to enter a new world order, have stated, we must cut 90% of the population, so the remaining people will not be able to create big problems. Ted Turner, an American entrepreneur who founded the CNN, had shamelessly said, a population of 300 million people, so with a cut of about 95%, is the ideal. Thomas Ferguson had said, an out-of-control population requires an authoritarian government, even fascism, to reduce it. In fact, we have seen that the food stores have closed. It has happened also in Italy. In Israel, in a shopping center, we saw a sign saying that people who do not get the liquid will not be able to enter in a mall. Also, in Israel, they said that for people who do not have the liquid, they will not be able to get on buses. In the city of Ra'anana, the mayor had said, workers without the liquid in the workplace will have to wear a distinctive overalls. If we think about it, everything that began to happen in 1938 is happening now. The enemy was, in a sense, different, but they began to persecute them with the same methodology that they're using now. Oliveto Citra, Apparitions in Salerno, 2017. Brothers and sisters, everything is about to change in the world. Satan is unleashed, and he is bringing so much confusion to the world. He is bringing so much suffering. He is able to turn one against the other. Lutz de Maria, 2021. You are easy prey of those who are sent by evil to agitate humanity and to make it rebel for everything and against everything that is impregnated with good. If a person is weak and not spiritual, he does not reason, he does not resist to the tricks of evil. His mind is manipulated. Ted Bunderson, a Los Angeles special agent, speaking about the elite's plan, he has said, "The best method they will have to control the masses will be to use, obviously through deception, the majority of the population and harness it against the minority that defends the truth." Joseph Goebbels, he was a Nazi hierarch and had said, "Repeat a falsehood 100 times, 1,000, 1,000,000 times, then the falsehood becomes over the time truth." And here we can give you very clear examples. A priest from Genoa, very recently, he said, "No readings to people who do not take the liquid. I have to protect the other people who enter my church." Draghi said that we need to look for people who are over 50 years old and haven't done the liquid yet. Boccia from Democrat Party said, "There are people who do not make the liquid, and this can become a problem for the autumn, because these people could become carriers of new variants." So the political forces must appeal to all Italians. The liquid, from being optional, must become compulsory for everyone. If we take the liquid, we protect the people around us. So then the lie is repeated, and it becomes truth. It becomes reality. The people who do not get the liquid will be passed off as carriers of dangers, as carriers of new variants, and the masses, extremely manipulated, will lash out against this minority that continues rightly to defend the truth. Luz de Maria, October 2020. These rebellious people have forgotten about God, have regressed, have surrendered themselves to Satan's tentacles, to his machinations, accepting the advancement of the New World Order. This generation will awaken when it will be forced to the most cruel suffering, when it will be mocked by the Antichrist cops, when it will be struck by nature and prevented from making decisions. There will be also the Antichrist cops, and who are them? In 2004, at Noordwijk in the Netherlands, a military police was born under the initiative of 5 nations: Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, and Holland. There is also a base here in Vicenza. In 2007, the Treaty of Velsen was signed, a treaty that explains the tasks and the power of this police. A police that works for the UN, the OSCE, the European Union, and NATO. In Article 28 and 29 of this treaty, it is written that they don't respond to any damage done to things, persons, and deaths that occur in the midst of their operations. So they don't take orders from anyone, from rulers, from politicians, from military. So looking towards the Eurogent 4, we understand how much power the cops of the Antichrist will have. Strong pandemics will arrive, strong restrictions managed by a powerful military police. And why all this is happening? Let's listen to this video. We welcome to Professor Giuliano Di Bernardo. Welcome, Professor. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Professor Di Bernardo is also known for having held very important roles, and still nowadays, important roles within the Italian Freemasonry. He is Grand Master of the Grand Orient of Italy and then founder of another Masonic lodge. We will reach a point where there will be only one society on the entire planet Earth. And then the question is, who will govern? As we move towards a totally globalized society, the question we must ask ourselves is, who will govern this world? For reasons that I have explained extensively in the book, it cannot be democracy, because democracy reveals all its weaknesses and its contradictions. The completely globalized society will be governed by whom that I called the One. But what this does it mean? It means that the phenomenon that we are facing today will be solved only within a society governed by the One. The pandemic is a further factor of acceleration towards the globalized society of the one God. Why? Because the pandemic we are talking about today is not an exception, but it is the rule. It is the normality. We must expect more pandemics in the near future that will put the survival of humanity at risk. This man said all that I have just described to you. It will come other pandemics that will put at risk the survival of humanity. In fact, at the beginning of the video, I spoke about the depopulation project. Democracy is over, okay? And he said, the phenomena that we are facing nowadays will only find a solution in a society governed by the one God. And who is this one God? Luz de Maria, 2015. The Antichrist will come with great power, wanting to dominate man in an absolute way, in all that man needs. Remember that this enemy of the soul will succeed in luring man, both the ignorant and the learned. So he will have an intelligence superior to that of any human being, a divine intelligence, we can say, of the one God. Remember, my children, that the Antichrist has made his way through the great institutions and the great politicians. Humanity will enter into chaos, and then the Antichrist will come pretending to help humanity, to be able to control the constant epidemics, giving health back to the sick and pretending, be careful, to look like my son. He will pretend to look like Jesus, like my son. So the Antichrist could be the one God. Or what shall he have to do? He will have to control the constant epidemics. Let's listen to this video. So then we have to find the way which is not to avoid pandemics, but to control them. And then we have to see what forms of government allow to control pandemics. In line to the future I hypothesized, which is the one of the one God. And what did this man say? We must not avoid but control the pandemics. Let's go back to Luz de Maria's message about the Antichrist. And what will he have to do? He will have to control the constant epidemics. So I repeat the question, who is the one God? Carbonia, Sardinia, 2014. The Antichrist is about to manifest himself to man. His face will soon be known. He will attract rivers of crowds. He will rule for a short time and will be a dictator, declaring himself God. Here then, the Antichrist is the one God. He will manifest himself through miracles and prodigious signs. These men have had it. The pandemics is a factor of acceleration towards the globalized society of the one God. Therefore, the one God has another meaning as well. Luz de Maria, 2021. This generation is living under the imposition of an elite that, in their eagerness to imitate the one and triune God, has taken power over everything and especially on earth, in order to deliver humanity into the hands of the Antichrist, and is now consolidating the one religion, the one government, the one currency, the one education. Jesus promised the establishment of his kingdom here on earth. The world elite wants to imitate the reign of Christ on this world with a one-world religion that will hail the false god Antichrist with a one government. The Antichrist will be its leader. With the one currency, he must manage the trade, the economy, the work, through a one education. There will be archaeological discoveries created intentionally to prove that he is the true God, and history will be completely reconstructed. There must be no religions, political movements, institutions, military, schools that are outside his control. The attention of all humanity must be magnetized towards his figure. This is the new world order. Trevignano Romano, 2018. Beloved ones, the Antichrist, who will be presented, he will take the world into his hands and will be supported by the powerful. Carbonia, 2016. You will shudder to see how much harm the New World Order will cause. The Antichrist has already arranged everything to make you his slaves and put you in a state of eternal punishment. The Antichrist has already arranged everything, so it is a dated project. Now the young people can go out at night. They think that freedom is coming back. They don't know that in a short time they won't be able to go out at night anymore, and not only because of pandemics. Luz de Maria, 2016. Terrorism will keep humanity in constant uncertainty Pray, beloved, my people, pray. Italy will suffer for this. Humanity will live without the enjoyment of the night. Governments will keep their citizens locked up at night to try to calm the anguish of terrorism. Terrorism is added. Antichrist, anti-Christians. The Antichrist therefore needs terrorism. Fervent Christians will be a big obstacle, and he has to remove all obstacles. 2016, always Luz de Maria. Terrorism will act without mercy to keep you in fear. This is a weapon of the Antichrist that will scare my people without faith. My children, pray. Terrorism will make its appearance, putting in turmoil, through repression, the countries that ignore this weapon of evil. Carbonia, 2014. There will be no more peaceful days. Everything will suddenly break loose, and no one will realize that all this evil has been caused by men of sin, by the powerful of the earth who have deceived you, by making you see what was not there, and you have believed the jokes of men and not my messages. It is the Antichrist, with the complicity of the powerful ones, who runs the terrorism worldwide. Let's see this image. We have here Mohammed Noor, who is the spokesman of Al-Nusra Front, the Islamic extremist group of Syria. The group of Syria joined the group of Islamic extremists of Iraq, led by the famous al-Baghdadi. The group of Iraq was called ISI, not ISIS, ISI. Then it joined the group of Syria, forming ISIS. This is Abu Musa, spokesman of ISIS. So we have here the three most important people of ISIS. ISIS is a world famous, charismatic, made of Islamic extremists who hate the Western way of life. They hate Europe, they hate America, and here we see them next to an American guy, the US Senator John McCain, and what they do together. This in the picture is Edward Snowden, who was part of the National Security Agency, NSA. He revealed that Israel's intelligence services, the Mossad, and the American and British intelligence services of these three countries created the ISIS. In an NSA document, this group is compared to a hornet's nest. Therefore, it has the function to attract terrorists from all over the world. And why? I told you why. Al-Baghdadi told us. Al-Baghdadi, who is part of the Israeli secret services, the Mossad, in Joel Magaldi's book, which talks about the super Masonic UR lodges, the most powerful lodges in the world, it is written that himself, together with George W. Bush, are part of the lodge called Ator Pentalpha, therefore a created character that works in favor of the elites. And what did he say? He spoke about the conquest of Rome and the Battle of the Big. The Battle of the Big is part of the Islamic tradition, and it says that at the end of the times, Christians and Muslims will destroy the army of the Antichrist, and then they will clash each other at Dabig. Dabig is located northeast of Aleppo in Syria. And there, the crosses will be destroyed. It will pave the way to get to Rome for the final great triumph. That's why they are rounding up terrorists from all over the world. And what will this triumph look like? Zaro, apparitions in Ischia, Naples, 2012. Evil surrounds you. A serious threat looms over Italy from Islam. My sons, those people will present themselves to you as friends and lying, they will approach you, but do not be deceived. In Surah 16, verse 106 of the Quran, I said it with my own words, it is written, whoever renounces Allah after believing Him, he will suffer a terrible punishment, except the case where one is forced to do so, but keeping the faith in one's heart. So, in cases of compulsion, one can deny Allah while maintaining the faith inwardly. So in some cases, one can lie. Venerable Bartolomeo Holzhauser, God will allow a great evil against His church. Heretics and tyrants will come suddenly and unexpectedly. They will break into the church while prelates, bishops, and priests are asleep. Be attentive, asleep. They will enter Italy and devastate Rome. They will burn churches and destroy everything. Carbonia, 2017. Rome will fall into the hands of the infernal enemy. His step is already in it. He will take it in the night and destroy everything which belongs to God. The assault will be sudden. No one of the gendarmes will notice the entrance of the evil ones. 2015. The Vatican is close to its defeat. The thieves will enter in the night, and they will catch my consecrated by surprise. Great will be their pain, because they will find the death in face. They will sneak into the Vatican at night without being heard or seen by the gendarmes. They will strike the consecrated while they are sleeping. They will enter their rooms, and the bishops, the cardinals, will have no way of escape and will find death in their faces. Carbonia, 2013. God's enemies are advancing and will fight against His children, and in the night they will take possession of His house. They will raise their flag. Zaro, Naples, 2013. Here the visionary describes a vision. I found myself in St. Peter's Square. It was about the sunset. There was a warm breeze. The square was full of people and soldiers, dressed in black and striped pants, kept in their boots, over wide blouses. In their hands they had scimitars like scythes, in the shape of an elongated half-moon. They had strange head-dresses like hats. There were bodies lying on the ground, and so much blood, so much that the square looked like a full basin. Some of the survivors raised a flag. The flag was green with inside pay attention, a half moon and a white 5-pointed star. The green flag with a half moon and a 5-pointed white star, as Our Lady described, and we can see here, is a flag that actually existed. It was the flag of the Pan-Indian Muslim League, a political party born in India in 1909. Muslim League. The League is a union, in this case between Muslim forces, to achieve a common goal: to destroy the fake Christian religion in their belief. The evil intelligence, in order to tease the Muslims, will put pressure on some passages of the Quran. For example, in Surah 3, verse 151, it is written, "We will put fear in the hearts of the unbelievers. The fire will be their refuge." In Barnabas' Gospel of Islamic origin, it is written that Jesus never died on the cross. Judas Iscariot, by the will of God, was made similar to Jesus and himself died on the cross and not Jesus. So the Muslim people will be teased also with these passages of the Quran, and starting from the attack of the Vatican, the slaughter for the Christians will begin. Carbonia, 2012. Soon this Italy will be massacred by persecution. This is the moment. They will start from the Vatican headquarters by taking the throne away from Peter, and then they will massacre every church and every Christian. And then what will happen next? Luz de Maria, 2016. The Antichrist will make his public appearance without warning, accompanied by great praise, in the guise of the one who will achieve peace and reconciliation between people. Peace that will be the signal of the imminent presence of the executioner of humanity. He will control diseases. He will bring peace among people. Exactly as I said before, it's all calculated, meticulously created in order to reach a final goal, a final purpose, to make the Antichrist manifest himself as a savior, as the solver of all the problems that he himself has created. In fact, St. Paul, in his letter number 2 to the Thessalonians, said, "The son of perdition, who is the Antichrist, will be hailed by the whole world, except, of course, the elected ones." Anguera, 2007. They are children, the one who will be welcomed as the enlightened because his mind will be enlightened to find solutions to all problems, will be in truth the terror of the nations. His plan will be only one, but what he will accomplish will bring serious consequences for my poor children. Pray. Carbonia, 2016. The dictator ready in his guise as the Antichrist, soon he will drop his mask of the good man, and you finally will know his true nature in Satan. First, he will bring peace, and then he will manifest in his true nature in Satan, and the tragedies, the persecutions will resume, will be the worst in history. In fact, They have been described even in the text of the Apocalypse of St. John. Let's try to understand. Luz de Maria, 2015. Pray, my children, for Italy. The great volcano will awaken to announce to my beloved people, be attentive here, that just as it awakens, those who do not love the Church of my Son have also awakened and are planning to enter into that territory. The awakening of a volcano will be the sign that the terrorists are coming. Antonio, a visionary in Capua, Caserta, 2003. I saw the sky open up. Inside it a horse, as white as snow, ridden by a knight dressed in armor, who, with the lance in his right, was driving Satan away from his path. In his left hand he had a large bow. We can see the image, a great bow, a knight sitting on a white horse that was mentioned in the message. So we are really talking about the first night of the Apocalypse, mentioned in Revelation 6, the night that starts the other apocalyptic events. In fact, after that it comes the red night, the black night, and the green night. He got off his horse and shot a burning arrow in the direction of a large volcano. The volcano, causing a huge eruption. My children, the vision symbolizes that God's chastisements are inevitable for the too many offenses against our Lord. The explosion of a volcano indicates that the chastisements of God have begun. In the Luz de Maria's message, she asking for prayers for Italy, talking about this volcano. So which volcano is this? Still Antonio, Capua, 2005. Taken in ecstasy, I saw in vision the Vesuvius that smoked lightly at the foot of the mountain, to open a chasm from which came out millions and millions of knights of the same color of the volcanic lava, which headed towards the Solfatara of Pozzuoli. I asked the angel of the Lord the meaning of this vision, and he answered me, "My son, the chastisements of God will come out from the darkness. Soon there will be another scourge coming from the earth." San Bonico Apparitions, Piacenza, message 85. Again, it describes a vision. Our Lady opens her hands and shows to Celeste a burning mountain. It really resembles a volcano, with lots and lots of blood and many headless people, the Islamic extremism. Let's recap. The first night of the Apocalypse, the White Knight shot an arrow at the volcano. From the volcano, some knights of the color of lava came out. So, the Red Knight. In fact, the Red Knight postpones the White Knight. As I said before, after the explosion of the volcano, it will come the persecutions, terrorist attacks. So Following the line of the speech, the Red Knight should talk about persecutions, decapitated heads, as I said before in the message of San Bonico, terrorism, throat slaughters. Revelation 6. When the Lamb opened the second seal, that is the second night of the Apocalypse, he heard the second living being shouting, "Come here!" Then another red fire horse came forth. The one riding it was given the power to take away peace from the earth, so that they would cut each other's throat. Here it is, each other, and a great sword was given to him. Here we can see the second night of the Apocalypse a little more specifically. Let's go back to the apparitions of Capua, message of 2006. A knight dressed as a centurion was riding it. In fact, this man is wearing the armor of the centurion, with a helmet and crest of blood red color. Here we can see the crest of blood red color. He had in his right hand a huge sword that shone like pure silver. It is the sword. So the message is clearly talking about the second night of the Apocalypse. The blood red color is the color of the Archangel Camael. In the Kabbalah, it means severe justice, the wrath of God, who allows men to cut each other's throats. The sword is made of pure silver. Sterling silver is an alloy between silver and copper, and it is more flexible than the pure silver. Therefore, the sword of pure silver means inflexible justice. Jihad does not only mean holy war. Jihad means effort